morning. How are you doing? Welcome to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media, the voice of the community. I am the one and only Lady G.U.N.S, which means, I am greatness under no stipulation. And joining me here in the studio are some fabulous people. We have, to my left, your right,
Dr. Bizness.
Dr. Bizness. And we have with us the illustrious, most highly educated and formal, phenomenal, fabulous, everybody wants to be her,
Tamara Porter.
And not only is she Tamara Porter, but she is also the host of a radio broadcast. Please do tell.
Growing Communities, aired on WDRB Media, Sundays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So if you don't have a community, or you have a community and it's not growing, or you're growing without a community, in any case, tune in to Growing Communities with Tamara Porter. But to the flyest brother, to my right, your left, with the cleanest fade this side of the Mississippi River, we have none other than the one and only Slick Make Me Sick with all those waves in his head. You are.
It's Gills, like a fish, like a pimp named Slickback. Say it all together.
Gills, like a fish, like a pimp.
Name Slickback.
Name Slickback.
Say it all together.
Say it all together. I told you guys we had some characters for you. Today on the Profit and Growth Hour, we are talking about growing communities and growing your edges because we have Tamara and Gil both together. Dr. Bizness, how are you doing today? See what happened?
You don't got no
when
edges,
we
so
go
I
on
think you got
break, it's a lot of things that happen when we go on break. And sometimes it's just hard to come back to it. So, okay. I'm done. I'm good now. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that warm introduction. Okay, I'm good. Go ahead.
You're tuned in to the Profit.
We've done that part already. Next. I apologize. Not really. Sorry, not sorry.
Not really.
Sorry, not sorry.
So, Tamara, what is it that entrepreneurs need to do in order to be more fiscally responsible when it comes to growing communities?
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm still focused on the voice.
And you have to answer in that voice.
When left to my own devices.
No. Okay, can you repeat the question?
What can entrepreneurs do in order to be more fiscally responsible in order to grow communities?
Okay, so I think the approach is understanding that your business needs to be successful, right? Do what it takes so that your business is successful. And one of the things that you do is making sure that your cash flow is there, understanding where your expenses are, where your revenue comes into play, and that you have a plan and that the decisions that you make are strategic enough so that you can grow your profits. Because a successful business is what will help grow your community's economy. And I like to think of it of if each community grows, right? Let's take the state of North Carolina, and every individual 10-mile radius community is growing. When you add them all up, you end up having an entire state economy that is growing. So it is your responsibility to succeed in your business, not just for ego's sake, but for everybody around you.
Mm-hmm. Gil, as an independent artist, barber, musician, phenomenon, what are one of the challenges that you find as an entrepreneur that makes it difficult to be able to grow your community?
I feel like one of the biggest issues for me is networking. I feel like especially with music, most of the people of my culture don't necessarily want to hear your music if it isn't ignorant or if you don't have a bunch of money in a music video with 30 chains on. So for me to actually make music with a purpose is kind of difficult, just to network it to the right people and for people to actually hear my message. So that's a problem for me as far as like the music is concerned.
So if the people don't want to hear your type of music, should you then change the music to cater to what the market will bear and what the audience is interested in seeing and buying?
I don't think so at all. I feel like the realer your music is, the people that actually
Appreciate that.
exactly
will
people
come
appreciate real music. So music with
But if that's the case, then more people would be embracing.
it's not
But
always
based upon what you're saying, unless you have naked women and
Money
dropping
and
it like
gold
it's hot and
chains and-
twerking and gold chains and making it rain, then people aren't accepting of it. So apparently the norm is, according to you, is to cater to that demographic in order to be successful.
not necessarily. People are just excited about that type of stuff, but intellectual minds can be touched by all different type of things. I mean, for instance, Drake doesn't do any of that in his music, and he's still the #1 artist in America right about now. So
But he does that in his lifestyle, though.
in his lifestyle, but he doesn't promote it necessarily in music videos and stuff like
But
that.
then he's also the minority and not the majority. So in every group, there's 1% that can go against the grain and be successful.
So why can't I be that 1%? You know?
And
You
I
very well could
believe,
be.
right, and I truly believe that what you're saying, don't change the music, change the audience.
Yes.
And make the audience change their mind. Look at Kirk Franklin. He literally was rebelled upon because of his form of gospel.
Ousted,
And
blackballed.
completely was told they try to take away his freedom of music. And he impacts the community like nobody else at this point. But if he had given up and did everything else that they wanted him to do, there would be no Kirk today, the way that we know Kirk. And I don't think there would be a Kirk today because he would have gotten lost in the mainstream of everything else that is not the trend. He actually was the trendsetter to break the glass ceiling so that others that have always had a beat in their system but were too afraid. Kirk Franklin was the Rosa Parks of gospel music. He sat down and said, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
I'm not changing a beat.
That's right.
I'm not, because
stomp.
there are some, right. There's somebody that's going to listen to
and
it.
because of that, there are other genres of gospel. You have gospel rap now. So.
Right. You got
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. I was in the gym one day and KD is an artist. And Spirit lead me where my trust. It was very melodic and stuff. And all of a sudden it dropped. It was like doom. And it went in like the whole little beat thing. And this girl literally, she said, oh my God, did Jesus just drop a beat? I said, yes, he did. And she was like, I don't know what this is, but it gave her so much stamina to go. And I said it just like she sounded too. She said, oh my God, did Jesus just drop a beat? Because it was gospel. It was blatant gospel and it was very melodic. But when that beat dropped and that rap came in, she was like, I can do more push-ups. Yes, like the reps are not that bad. So I appreciate him sitting down and not walking out on his gift and talent. And I encourage you to do the same thing.
Thank you.
If God has given us something, it's all about his timing and when it is to be released and when it is to be received. The thing is, most artists don't have the patience to wait for that breakthrough. They want the right here,
Quick,
right now.
fast, and
Business
hurry.
owners
Microwave.
don't have the patience to wait for the business to succeed. You know,
Takes 5 years to break even.
Right,
People
absolutely.
need to go in knowing that.
And then the next 5 years, it's not guaranteed what will happen after that.
Exactly.
There's a large percentage that actually fail after that next 5 years.
Right.
Because it takes 5 years just to break even. So now you're not losing anything. But for the past 5 years, you did lose. So now come year 6, you trying to get back what you lost year 1. Year 7, you're trying to get back what you lost year 2. Year 8, you're trying to get back what you lost year 3. So now 10 years later, now your business is profitable. And that's what people don't understand. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about franchises. In the franchise disclosures, it tells you how much money you need to have in reserves based upon their qualification of you purchasing that franchise. So unless you have this amount of liquid assets, if your net worth isn't this, then this is not the business for you. But everybody tries to start a business on a shoestring without counting the cost. And if you don't count the costs, then people will laugh at you when the business ends up failing. So we first have to count the costs to determine that we have enough to be able to finish it, to be able to build that building. And unless a person can realize that, they'll utterly fail.
It's like buying a car with your income taxes. You could pay the bills for it.
The down payment,
Exactly.
but the monthly payment you can't afford.
As soon as the tires bust on you,
You got
can't
it.
afford the tires.
That's
You
it.
know what I mean? So
That
You
is so
buying a
true.
used tire for $20.
for Mercedes Benz.
Right.
Right.
We're like, is that a spare on your Lexus? It's been up there for about 3 months now. I'm sure that's not the.
Well, it's getting custom ordered from Europe, and I'm waiting for the shipping to come in through the import.
No,
Invest.
what they actually saying is, I got a checking and a savings, and the way it works is I had to transfer from a savings to a checking and take 3 months for it to get there
Pretty much.
before I can do that.
I actually know a guy. He was gifted a 500 series Mercedes.
By you?
No, not by me.
Okay.
By somebody else. I did give away a house though, but that's another story.
That's a whole nother story.
Buddy, your pal of mine.
What did you say your birthday was?
And he was appreciative of the gift, but based upon what he did as a living and his lifestyle and the amount of money and things, that he couldn't really afford it because he could not keep it up and maintain it. And what you just said about the tires, once the tires went bad, he literally had to sell the Mercedes because he didn't have enough money in order to get the tires replaced. So,
And I think sometimes giving we hurt people in our giving. We mean well. We want to be a blessing to them, but we don't consider the aftermath of that, in that example.
don't talk about Oprah that way. And
right.
you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
But you're going to
then-
get your own insurance and your own tags and title and your
why can't
own
you pay for the
maintenance.
insurance and pay for the tags and pay for the
Everything else.
registration and pay for the...
I'll still take the car.
Right. Now, Transformation Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma, there was a lady in the church, someone had just stolen her car from out front of her house. And they blessed, it was their end of year giving. And they were just being literally, those that wrote their vision down, people online, they literally was like, here, let us be a blessing to you, because they wanted the tithers and offering givers to know that this is what your money does. We give back. But when they bought, there were probably about 4 or 5 cars that they gave away. And everybody was shouting. He said, wait, we took care of the tags, the titles, the insurance, and everything. So it wasn't just, they had the concept that I can't just give you this, because if you had a car, then, the whole thing is you can't afford the insurance and everything else. Like, you don't even have the car. So full tank of gas, insurance, tags, titles, everything is taken care of. And they're good for there. Now,
So, Gil,
the responsible
next week,
part is...
you can, I'll park my car in the alley around the corner.
Okay.
And then you can steal it.
They got Kias,
And then,
sir.
you
make
Insurance
sure.
come in. Hey, let's
As they
get
speak
that
this is both video and audio recording. This broadcast is being recorded for quality assurance and training purposes.
I can tell Dr. Business grew up in a real rough neighborhood.
Right.
I done seen some things.
He watched TV. That's what he
Thank you,
did.
YouTube.
He ain't going through
YouTube
nothing.
You on season 6 of Power.
Right, that's what he got. Standing in Walmart and GameStop watching a trailer for Grand Theft Auto. That is his outtake of danger. His eyewitness accounts.
Somebody got to live to tell. That's all I'm saying. Somebody got to live to tell the story.
No, but I want to encourage entrepreneurs, small business owners, and independent artists that when people come to invest in you, be ready. Someone asked a question, if a millionaire said, let me see your business plan, could you hand it to him? Or are you going to say, well, this is my idea? They need to have something tangible that they can actually take with them. When it comes to building the community, there was an organization where they would pick an establishment within it. It was a Black-owned organization. They would pick an establishment to go to. Say you have a barbershop, and it's a little challenging. It's winter. Everybody's not getting a haircut, so your customers drop a little bit. They would literally tell everybody, rally, hey, next week, we're going to send as many people to your shop as possible. That is their way of helping you. So they're pushing clients to you. The problem is you're the only barber there. Like you've got to make sure that if they're trying to help you build your revenue, they're giving you the clients. And if you do the clients right, if they'll like what they got, they'll come back. But their whole purpose was uniting. Everybody's got to get a haircut. This is where we're going this week. I know you got your barber, but he needs help. He's one of us. He's in our community. There's a restaurant, business is a little slow. All right. Tuesday through Thursday is family night. Take your families out there. Go ahead on and support them. But they can't walk in and the floor is sticky and a roach run by and your table's dirty and ain't nobody there in it. So when you have people that are willing to invest in you, be ready for their investment. Be all the way ready, be responsible, and be respectful and supportive of what they're offering to you, because it comes as a way to help you build. But if you're not ready for the building, then they'll take the help somewhere else.
I really think that's a good point, because a lot of times people say, well, that's a good problem to have. You have too many customers, right? But there's the word problem in there. That means you're understaffed. You're not ready for those customers.
Absolutely.
So I definitely agree. Think ahead and be prepared.
Right. I used to do meal prep, and I started off with 3 clients. And I literally started off with 3 because I figured 2 out of 1 liking my food instead of 1 and 1 liking, 1 dead. So I was strategic. I had 3 turned into 7 turned into 12. By the end, I had 65, which I thought was phenomenal. The only downside is I couldn't find a chef that could maintain my standards and do what I did. Got an industrial kitchen. It went from my kitchen to my kitchen and my neighbor's kitchen to my neighbor's, my mama's kitchen. It grew to where, okay, you have to actually take this to an establishment. But I knew what I had was good. I honestly underestimated the ability of what I did. I never thought that it would go that fast. We're talking about less than 6 months. It blew up. But I didn't have somebody to build that with me. Meaning I could do the administrative part, they could do the cooking, I could do the cooking this week, they can do the admin. You can oversee the staff and make sure that the chefs are still following our same format and measurements. You can oversee the ordering. I didn't have that. So would I like to do it again? Absolutely. I'm glad that I did it, because I learned that too much of a good thing was a bad thing. Because there was no way. I remember one day I spent 48 hours cooking. Literally. I had that many. Man, I was ugly by day 3. But there was no team. It was just me, which is why, it continued. So I think building with expectation to succeed. I built with the expectation that maybe they'll like it, maybe they won't.
Right.
I didn't know.
And then I think that's where sometimes supply and demand comes in. Because if you know that you're limited in capacity, oftentimes how a business can respond is either A, bringing on additional staffing, or B, increase the cost of goods. So now if I have 10 cars on a lot to sell and they're priced at $10,000 and they're going like clockwork and I still got a line of people, well, those 10 cars at $10,000, next week is going to be 10 cars at $30,000. And I'll get 10 people to give me $30,000. Can't get 100 people to give me $30,000. I can get 100 people to give me $10,000. But I just increase my cost of my product, which then the demand will then shrink as a result. But then my profitability will go up because the cars only cost me $2,000. So now I'm actually making more money by servicing less clientele. So you work smart versus working hard. So there's always answers in order to solve problems. And where problems do exist, and they will exist, and if you're in business for yourself, expect and plan on them to be present, but always be open-minded to solutions and how to bring about a successful end to those problems.
So if there are any chefs out there that would like to reinvigorate my meal prep organization.
Don't worry.
We don't serve mac and cheese at the health and wellness though. That's what all my chefs was like. I was like, is that
dripping?
Right. I was like, wait, is that grease on that? Like, where's the olive oil. Nah, baby, you needed some lard. Oh no, it's health and wellness.
Just put some supplements on top to wash it down. You'll be all right.
Serve it with a protein shake. That'll be good.
Drink some water, you be all right.
Right, like not at all.
How can they hear your show, follow you, find out more about you?
So this is Tamara Porter. My show is Growing Communities here on Wdrbmedia. It's aired on Sundays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Definitely go look at my Facebook page. The page is called Growing Communities Show on Facebook.
And you have an upcoming event as well that they can find out more information on.
By going where?
Yes. So I do have an upcoming event on another side, and you could get a little bit more information on that if you visit Platinum Commercial Finance Facebook page. Just look under events and you'll see our calendar.
Okay.
Excellent. If they want to get a cut.
Or some beads. Are you crying?
No.
It's okay.
Oh,
You guys just made me feel so welcome.
no. Oh my God, I feel your bones.
It's my allergies. It's my allergies.
I told you it's my raw day, girl.
Like when I eat tomorrow, you won't feel my back. You won't feel my spine tomorrow.
Well, yeah, you can reach me on Instagram, Cuts by Gills, CUTZ_BYGILLZ. And I do mobile barbering here in Charlotte, so just instant message me for a haircut.
Awesome.
Tamara wanted you to repeat that because she's trying to figure it out. So if she's trying to figure it out, maybe there's a listener trying to figure it out. So
Instagram, Cuts by Gills, CUTZ_BYGILLZ.
He said double LZ.
Okay.
That's what that was. Yeah, double LZ. LLZ.
I'm not as smart as I
Got it.
no, it's the hip hop lingo that you sort of double
my
LZ
bad,
in the
my
place to be.
She'd have been in
rocking
the
on
car
wheels of
like,
steel.
hey Siri, what's double L?
Is that like an LLC?
Right? Is that when you
And
lose it?
you were
He
incorporated.
said when you lose twice. That's what double L.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Family, you're tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media,
The voice of the community.
Excellent. Way to go, y'all. Very good. Very good. Great energy. Hercules.